At this point, I said, what does the company do? Does the company stay the course, stick with the assumptions in the original business model, or what we call in the business world pivot, change to something else? Well, I think you know the answer, which is that Better Place stayed the course. They did not change the business model, and they wound up having an astronomical burn rate. That's the amount of money the company is spending per month. You know, with everything that was going on, the over this and the over that, they wound up spending $1 million a day. That was in January 2012. In January 2012, they raised $200 million. That was their Series C. $200 million, spending $1 million a day. Let's do the math. How many days does that last? 200 days. When did they run out of money? 200 days later. At that point, Idan Ofer came in and said, I don't want to, first of all, he fired Shai Agassi, said, you know, you're managing my company wrong, and various other things that you'll read in the book, because there's so much more in the book. But he fired Shai, and then he put $100 million more into the company at that point to keep it going, and to see if they could pivot to something else. So what could they have done? They could have pivoted to China. They had an operation, they had a visitor center in China. They could have, you know, pulled out of Israel and done electric taxis. They had an operation working in Amsterdam. They had one in Tokyo that was a demonstration. They could have, you know, done a limited test and just, you know, made the car work between Herzliya and Bat Yam, just in the Tel Aviv area. There are many things they could have done, but they didn't. They stuck with the model, kept the 42 switch stations open, kept trying to sell with that confusing marketing, and company ran out of money. At the end of the day, companies go bankrupt because they run out of money, and that is what happened. We are sitting here in Los Angeles with lots of hindsight and 20/20 vision, and at the time, the company looked like, and certainly to us outsiders, looked like it was going, amazing places. It's easy to be, what's it, a Monday morning quarterback, but we didn't see it coming, and that's the story. People always ask, is this a warning sign for the startup nation, or is it just a blip? And the answer is, it's not a problem. Yes, Better Place failed, but startups fail all the time. This is the nature of startups. Venture capitalists know that. They put in money. 9 out of 10 startups don't go anywhere. 1 does, maybe 2. They make some money. They have a big exit or an acquisition, or they go public. The rest of them fail. That's normal. Better Place seemed extraordinary because they failed so big. Failure is part of the process. It's not a warning sign for the startup nation, and it's not a sign for these investors. The investors here on the right, none of them are out of business. In fact, Maniv Mobility just raised a new round of $40 million this summer. So Israel Corporation still has billions of dollars. Morgan Stanley, HSBC, it's still in business. Okay, what happened to Better Place? Where is it today? I got 2 very sad pictures. The first one is me standing in front of an old switch station. This is the Jerusalem switch station. You can see in the background, it's a mess. If you look at the video at the beginning, there's no track there, the robots are gone, there's graffiti, there's garbage. It's very sad. The irony is that that switch station is sandwiched right between the Jerusalem dump and on the other side, our main cemetery. Which leads to the second picture. Look at this, look at this. This is the Better Place sign. This is the one in Beit Shemesh. What are these? Tombstones. It's a tombstone sales point. I couldn't have doctored this picture. It's a real. People do ask what happened to the cars. So we kept our car. Jody and I bought that car, and we kept it for 4.5 years, and we drove it, as far as we could. So at first we could get to the airport, then the battery degraded a little, then we could get to Modi'in from Jerusalem, then it degraded a little, we could get to Beit Shemesh, and then it was just a city car, and we didn't take it out of Jerusalem. But in the end, though, a group of Better Place car owners sued Renault. We didn't sue them because we were upset with the company. We sued them because we wanted to keep driving our cars, and we wanted new batteries. We said, just give us new batteries, maybe the next generation batteries will keep the car. And Renault said, we don't have any more batteries. We're not making the car anymore. You went out of business. We stopped making, they do make it. They sell it in South Korea. It's the Samsung SM3. But so Renault offered us in the spring of this year a settlement. Instead of batteries, they offered to buy our cars back for 50% of what we paid for them. And we thought, okay, first of all, that's not bad for a 4.5-year-old car. But second, what were we going to do with the car? The battery keeps going down. There's no charging infrastructure. We probably have to pay somebody to tow it away. So what happened to the cars? I don't know. Probably shipped off to South Korea. No, probably to Africa or India and crushed, and I don't know what happened to them. I don't. This is a don't ask, don't tell. I don't want to know. It was very sad. The people who kept the car loved this car. We loved it at first. People love this car. And I have one last video to show you, and then we will take some questions. Are there any implications for the electric vehicle industry? And the answer is yes. And the implications can be seen in this video clip. Now, if you recognize these people, that's Maury Amsterdam there. This is a clip from the old Dick Van Dyke show. And Maury is going to tell us a joke that we can learn a lot from the Better Place story and for electric cars in general.
Somebody asked me to stand up.
Stand up!
Okay, all right. This is the boss's tailor, see? And the fellow goes in to buy his suit, and he's looking at himself in the mirror like this, and the jacket's hanging way down like this. And the tailor's over his shoulder. He says, how do you like the suit? The guy says, pretty good, but what's this hanging down? Hey, what are you worried about the hanging down? He just pull a jacket up like this, hold your chin over the lapel like that. It's gorgeous, see? So he's walking down the street like this, and a friend of his meets him. He says, where'd you get the suit? What, they give you a ukulele with it or something? He says, what's the matter with it? He says, look how it flares out on the side. This you don't even notice. Back to the tailor, he says, what are you worried about the flaring out? You take the jacket like that, hold your hand across your stomach. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now he's walking down the street like this. Meets another guy, and the guy says, run for the hills with that suit, kid. They're going to capture you. He says, what's the matter with it? He says, what's the matter? The pants are too long. Back to the tailor. What are you worried about the pants? You hold them like this. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now get this, Gorgeous is walking down the street like this, see? And two doctors go by. One of them looks over, he says, I don't know what's wrong with that fella, but don't the suit fit nice?
The moral of this story really is that the Better Place was trying to fit a model that didn't work for all kinds of reasons. People didn't like it, the car was too expensive, you had to switch batteries, and the same thing continues to be true to this day. Even the Tesla, which is a great car, still doesn't get the kind of performance that people expect. What people expect when they go and buy a new technology like an electric car, they want to trade up. They don't want to trade down. They don't want to have to hold the suit like this and the pants like that in order to get the car to work. So for example, what do I hear from in the electric car? And I heard it today at the LA Auto Show. Somebody said, I was driving, I got to drive a new Nissan Leaf. Nissan Leaf gets 180 miles to the charge. And I said, so what happens, if I want to go farther? He says, oh, well, you go to a charge spot, there's fast chargers. It takes about 30 minutes and you get 80% of charge. And it's like, but I don't want to wait 30 minutes. I want to pull into a gas station type of charger, plug in, 5 minutes later, be off and going. And I want those to be everywhere, ubiquitous. Well, he's selling me a suit that doesn't fit and saying, you could get a cup of coffee and a croissant, No, I want what I already got. I'm not taking the risk. And when we get those batteries that can charge up in 5 minutes, and those charge spots that are everywhere, and they are coming, and there were tons of people with new battery technologies, at the show, and there are companies in Israel doing it. When we get there, then electric cars are really going to take off. But before that, they're going to remain a niche. Even with the Chevy Bolt and the Tesla with the long range, it's still problematic as I see it because of the Maury Amsterdam lesson. That's something that I think we learned. One last slide. All right. This is a little bit about me, but people ask, what are you doing next? I'm looking for my next book idea. So, if anyone in this room knows a fascinating company, entrepreneur, innovator, or leader in the tech world, in the Jewish world, or maybe even an entire industry that could benefit from being brought to life in this kind of heavily researched but entertaining way that you'll see when you read the book, let me know. I'm your guy. Thank you so much.